The draw ceremony had just ended. Players gathered around the tournament board, tracing possible routes to the final. Coaches whispered strategy. Reporters rushed to file their stories. But inside the historic Rot-Weiss Tennis Club in Berlin, the conversation kept returning to one name: Alex Ila. The 21-year-old Filipina had already become one of the most talked-about players of the grass court season. Her rise through the rankings, her fearless style of play, and her growing international fan base had turned every tournament appearance into a major story. And Berlin was no exception. When tournament organizers announced that Ila would enter the main draw, the reaction was immediate. Fans celebrated. Media attention intensified. Ticket demand surged. Suddenly, one of the most prestigious grass court tournaments outside Wimbledon had gained another compelling storyline. What happened next surprised even experienced observers of the sport. During media activities surrounding the draw, tournament officials openly acknowledged the excitement surrounding Ila's arrival. Not because she was the highest-ranked player in the field, not because she was a Grand Slam champion, but because of the impact she was already having wherever she played. The field itself was loaded with stars. World-class champions, major title contenders, some of the biggest names in women's tennis. Yet Ila remained one of the most discussed players entering the tournament. That level of attention is rarely given to someone still building her career. But Ila's journey has never followed a conventional path. From junior Grand Slam success to breakthrough performances on the professional tour, she has repeatedly found ways to exceed expectations. Now Berlin offered another opportunity, another test, another chance to prove that her rise is no accident. The challenge could hardly be greater. A stacked draw, elite opponents, ranking points that could influence her Wimbledon position. Everything was on the line. The spotlight was growing brighter. And as the tournament prepared to begin, one thing had become impossible to ignore. Alex Ila was no longer arriving as a promising prospect. She was arriving as one of the biggest stories in women's tennis. And Berlin was about to find out why. The day Alex Ila's wild card was announced, something unusual happened. Ticket inquiries spiked. Social media engagement surged. And suddenly, conversations about the Berlin Open were no longer focused solely on the world's top-ranked players. They were focused on a 21-year-old Filipina who had never played a main draw match in Berlin. The Filipino community across Germany immediately took notice. Families from Hamburg, Munich, Frankfurt, and Cologne began making travel plans. Tennis clubs shared her highlights. Sports pages published features on her remarkable rise. What Marcus Oak had predicted was already unfolding. The Ila effect had arrived in Germany. But the tournament director's most memorable comments were still to come. During a media session at the Rot-Weiss Tennis Club, reporters asked Zoke why he had been so determined to bring Ila into the main draw. His answer surprised everyone. It's not only about rankings, he explained. It's about impact. He paused before continuing. Every tournament hopes to discover players who create excitement. Players who make people want to watch, want to attend, want to believe they are witnessing the beginning of something special. Then he mentioned Ila by name. Alex has that quality. According to those in attendance, the room fell silent. Because Zoke was not talking about potential. He was talking about presence. The kind of presence that cannot be measured by statistics alone. The kind that makes fans show up hours before matches begin. The kind that transforms a regular first-round contest into one of the most anticipated events of the tournament. Some players become stars because they win, Zoke continued. Others become stars because people connect with their story. In Alex, I think you have both. For Ila, the timing could not have been more important. Only days earlier, her impressive six-match grass court winning streak had ended. Questions were beginning to surface. Could she maintain her momentum? Could she handle the growing expectations? Could she secure the ranking points needed before Wimbledon? Now, one of Germany's most respected tennis figures was publicly expressing confidence in her future. It wasn't pressure. It was belief. And belief can be a powerful thing, especially for a player who has spent her entire career proving people wrong. As Berlin prepared for opening day, the spotlight surrounding Alex Ila continued to grow. The draw was brutal. The competition was elite. The margin for error was almost non-existent. But none of that seemed to matter to the fans gathering outside the gates. They had already made their choice. They wanted to see Alex Ila. And for the first time in Berlin, she wasn't arriving as an underdog. She was arriving as one of the main attractions of the tournament. The wild card had become a headline. The headline had become a movement. And the movement was only getting bigger. Fans who had followed Alex Ila's journey from junior champion to global tennis sensation found themselves witnessing something far bigger than a tournament invitation. They were witnessing history. From Manila to Munich, from London to Los Angeles, social media feeds were flooded with clips of Marcus Soki's emotional speech. Television networks interrupted regular programming to replay the moment. Sports analysts who normally debated rankings and statistics suddenly found themselves discussing something far more powerful: connection. The image of Alex Ila standing beside the Berlin Open tournament director, holding the framed photograph of the Philippine flag painted on the Berlin Wall, became one of the defining sports images of 2026. In Manila, giant screens in shopping centers replayed the speech on a loop. At the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, where Ila had spent years developing her game, coaches gathered around televisions to watch the footage. In Germany, newspapers that rarely placed tennis on their front pages led with a photograph of the Filipina star wiping away tears. "Berlin opens its heart to Alex Ila," read one headline. "The athlete uniting two nations," declared another. What made the moment so remarkable was that it had nothing to do with winning a title. No trophy had been lifted. No championship point had been played. Yet somehow, Alex Ila had created one of the most memorable moments of the entire grass court season before even striking a ball in Berlin. Former players weighed in almost immediately. "This is bigger than tennis," one commentator said during a live broadcast. "You cannot manufacture moments like this. They happen when an athlete connects with people on a level beyond sport." And that connection was visible everywhere. Outside the Rot-Weiss Tennis Club, fans continued arriving throughout the evening. Some carried Philippine flags. Others carried German flags. Many carried both. One elderly German woman told reporters she had never watched a full tennis match until she saw Ila compete at Birmingham. "She reminds me of why we love sports," she said. "Not because she always wins, but because she never stops fighting." The story resonated because it mirrored Ila's own journey. She had not arrived in Berlin as a Grand Slam champion. She had not arrived as world number one. She arrived as a young woman who had spent years proving people wrong. Every ranking breakthrough, every upset victory, every comeback from adversity, every moment she was told she wasn't ready. It all led to this. And perhaps that was why Marcus Soki's words landed with such force. He wasn't celebrating what Alex Ila had already achieved. He was celebrating what she represented. Possibility. The possibility that talent can emerge from anywhere. The possibility that determination can overcome circumstance. The possibility that a young girl from Quezon City can walk into one of Europe's most prestigious tournaments and be welcomed like family. As night fell over Berlin, the crowd slowly dispersed. The cameras packed away. The headlines were written. The speeches were over. But the real challenge was still waiting. Danos Vekic. Then potentially Elena Rybakina. Then perhaps some of the biggest names in women's tennis. The Berlin Open was about to begin. The emotions, the celebrations, the extraordinary welcome. All of it would soon give way to competition. Because tennis is ultimately decided not by speeches or applause. It is decided by points. And Alex Ila understood that better than anyone. The next morning, while the world continued talking about the announcement, she was back on the practice court, running, serving, preparing, because appreciation is earned off the court. Legacies are built on it. Berlin had embraced Alex Ila. Now it was time to see what she would do with that belief. The Berlin Open begins. The matches will be played. The rankings will rise and fall. The headlines will change. But something happened in Berlin that no ranking system can measure. A former professional player, a tournament director, a man who once painted the Philippine flag on the Berlin Wall as a symbol of hope, looked at Alex Ila, and saw something bigger than tennis. He saw possibility. He saw courage. He saw a young woman from Quezon City carrying the dreams of millions every time she steps onto a court. And he decided to tell the world. Not with a press release, not with a social media post, but with a piece of history. A reminder that walls can fall, that barriers can be broken, that greatness can come from places nobody expects. As Alex Ela walked away from that stage holding the framed photograph, she was carrying more than a gift. She was carrying a message that every young athlete needs to hear. You belong, no matter where you come from, no matter how many people doubt you, no matter how impossible the dream may seem. You belong. Now, the attention turns to the court. Donna Vekic awaits. Elena Rybakina could be next. The path ahead is brutal. The pressure is enormous. The Wimbledon seeding race hangs in the balance. But Alex Ela has faced pressure before. She faced it in Miami. She faced it in Birmingham. She faced it every time someone said a Filipino tennis player could never reach the top of the sport. And every time, she answered the same way. By fighting, by believing, by refusing to back down. Berlin has embraced her. Germany has welcomed her. The tennis world is watching. Now comes the next chapter. Not the chapter about rankings. Not the chapter about predictions. The chapter about proving that belief was justified. Marcus Zokiai gave Alex Ela a symbol of hope. The rest of the story? She will write that herself. 1 point, 1 match, 1 victory at a time. Laban always. The tournament director, a former ADP player who reached a career-high ranking of world number 48 and won an ADP title in Sun City, has made a stunning public statement. Marcus Zoke declared that Germany has now adopted Filipina star Alex Ela as one of its own. Berlin is behind you, Zoke said. Germany is behind you. You are not just a visitor to our country. You are part of our tennis family. But what truly shocked the tennis world was what came next. Zoke revealed a deeply personal connection to history, that as a student in 1989, he painted the Philippine flag on the Berlin Wall as a symbol of hope, believing that barriers between people and nations could one day fall. To honor that moment, he presented Alex Ela with a framed photograph of that very flag, a powerful gesture linking past and present, history and future. The reaction was immediate and global. The tennis world erupted. The hashtag Berlin Embraces Ela began trending worldwide as fans celebrated what many called one of the most emotional moments in modern tennis history. Boris Becker, Venus Williams, and Coco Gauff were among those who publicly praised the gesture and welcomed Ela's growing impact on the sport. As Ela prepares for her opening round clash against Donna Vekic, the message from Berlin is clear. She is no longer just a visitor in this tournament. She is part of something bigger. A story that goes beyond rankings, beyond matches, and beyond the scoreboard. A story about belief, about identity, about a sport bringing people together across borders. If you want more stories about the drama, history, and emotional moments shaping Alex Ela's journey, make sure to subscribe to Court Legacy. Because in tennis, the real story isn't just who wins or loses. It's the moments where history meets the future.